Well, Justin, that was certainly a game.
It was, Luke. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't necessarily a bad one, but it was a game. And it will only be memorable for a certain Polish striker's first goal in MLS. That's right. Karol Swiderski was back. No, I'm kidding. It's uh, it's another episode of the Queen City Soccer Show. I'm Justin Kurtz. With me is Level Up Luke. Cole Godfrey is taking some much needed time off for tonight. He may be trying to hop on later, but family time obviously trumps, especially talking about this Charlotte Chicago Fire match. Luke, we go up to the Windy City and it's a 2-1 loss. Okay. What's your
Yep.
take on this one?
I think we both thought a draw would be a good result on the road. Chicago obviously has spent a lot of money. They're a talented team. They've not been living up to the station here of late. However, I mean, they are currently sitting on the live standings as we record this on a Sunday evening in the East.
Yeah.
With that win, that put them up 29 points. We're kind of in a three-way spot there with NYC and C right ahead of us. So this could have been another 6-point game, Justin. This could have put us ahead of the Pigeons and the Queen City Fakers of Cincinnati. But alas, here we are in final guaranteed playoff position without playing in a wild card. Red Bulls and DC United are right below us. Red Bulls tied on points, DC United a few behind. So, I mean, we're in an okay spot right now. If you told us, before the season started that we'd see an all-star game in Charlotte and afterwards we'd be sitting place in the East, I think we'd be a little disappointed. But, is it a deal breaker? I don't think so. I would like to see us higher on the table, but with getting rid of our DP, the new DP taking a month to get a visa approved, another starting striker or another starting winger we've had for years, he's away. I mean, it's just a challenging matchup, right? Like, there's no Kerwin Vargas, there's no Wilfred Zaha, there's no Maxi. So what did we have, Justin? Tell me about the starting lineup here. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, so we go a little bit strange, right? Because we get Pep Biel on the right wing, and we get the midfield. I guess we're going to call it a triple pivot of Luca De La Torre, Ashley Westwood, and Jibril Diani. Toklamati gets the start at striker over Archie Goodwin, which at this point flip a coin and they'll both do exactly the same amount of nothing. And then we get a back line of Nathan Byrne, Morrison. Kessler gets the start again. No Ream in the 11 at all today, which is a little surprising.
And that was
and
a
then Harry
coach's
Toffolo.
decision. Yeah, that was a
Yep.
coaching decision on Dean Smith's part. That was not Tim Ream being out for injury. Just Dean telling the media he could use a little rest after the World Cup. He's been going at it pretty strong. All-Star break, getting him some well-needed time off. And then, like you said, Harry Toffolo and Nathan Byrne.
Yep. Pep Biel on the right wing was an interesting decision, I think. I don't know that I necessarily agreed with it. I think that the better thing, in my opinion, and this is, a guy sitting on the couch talking to a microphone, pretending he knows something, is one of De La Torre or Diani sits, Pep stays in the middle, and then you see a Loco come in, and you just ride out the lumps of an inexperienced young man. Or if you're Dean, the more likely thing is Abada flips to the right and Tiger Smalls comes in on the left, because, I don't know, Dean is angry at the fans for some reason. But no, we get Pep Biel on the right, and I don't know. It kind of worked for a little while until it really didn't. There was a lot of BL drifting inside. When we were in the attack, it looked like the first thing Pep Biel was thinking about doing was cutting inside with the ball, and then trying to attack and Burn and Toffolo, and then later on Schnegg will get an opportunity here too. There's a lot of width being provided by the fullbacks getting forward. Um, it, it looked like it worked for a little bit. We get the opening goal in the 18th minute. It's a good set of interplay, and Pep Biel was finding space out there on that wing. He'd curled in not great shots because I think it was a bad pitch, but he curled in a couple of shots prior to the goal that gets scored. So he was finding some space, but I don't know. It didn't feel quite right. It definitely felt like something was missing out of the middle. Um, I I don't know, Luke. If it came to it, would you want to see Pep Biel on that right wing again?
I mean, Dean is showing that he has options here, so I'm not going to say no. I don't want to see him on the wing again, but I would rather have a few more options at our disposal. Rodolfo Aloco, we'll talk about later, is one of those options. Is he the best option? It's hard to say at this point, but you know, we should have Maxi in Charlotte at some point, possibly during the League's Cup. That's been alluded to. So I would like to see Pep Biel stick to more of a creative role in the more of the center because he does drift out to the right wing at times, and just having that flexibility, I think, is better than what we're doing here, which is trying to plug in pieces and see what works.
Yeah, and it doesn't really work. We get the opening goal in the 18th, and it is a good shot from Pep, and I knocked Toklamati as we were talking about the lineup, but he does get the assist here, and so that is a positive. Um, we barely get time to celebrate it though, because they turn around and march like snap right back down the field, and in the 20th minute, it's Robert Lewandowski's historic first goal in MLS. It's a hell of a shot. It's an outside of the box snipe into the bottom corner, just outside of Kalina's reach. But did anything stick out to you about this? It felt a little easy to me. It felt like we were um, a little hesitant to close down in spaces here, and so it's tough. I think we were still trying to celebrate the last goal and not necessarily switched back on when this happened.
Yeah. I mean, I think this Lewandowski guy is pretty good. I guess he might have a future in the Major League Soccer at this rate. But
Well,
yeah,
and
no.
and
What concerned me was it looked like we had some activity early, and then we just kind of lost it. Like we went into that kind of turtle shell. Dean Smith active for a little while, get a goal on the board, and then just kind of shut it down and try. And we talk about that a lot here, both with FC and with Independence. I don't like that style. I feel like it's unnecessarily stressful, and I feel like it's counterproductive. If you have something that's working, I wouldn't switch away from it. I don't know why we have to go defensive, park the bus, and just allow the other team to have possession, unlimited possession. Um, let's play our game. Let's dictate the terms a little bit.
well, and a lot of that was hard in this one, I think, because your new favorite guy from the All-Star game, for our listeners, Luke texted the group chat after Philip Zinkernagel got himself a goal in the All-Star game and went, "Who?"
I mean, I'm gonna
Uh,
be honest, man. I follow this league. I've been watching Charlotte FC and following the league for 5 years at this point, 5 or 6 years. I have never once heard of this guy. I was baffled. I saw that at the All-Star game, and I was talking with friend of the program, Mike Umberger, and I was just like, "Bro, who is that? Who? I've never heard this name. Like, this is an All-Star. I've never heard of this guy."
Well, he has cooked us in the past, and he cooked us again. Like looking at SofaScore, he has a very good rating. He's a 7.8 on SofaScore. The more telling thing is that the entire wing that was playing across him and trying to defend him, that's Liel Abada, Jibril Diani, and Harry Toffolo, are all in 6.1, 6.2, and 6.4. And not all of that is because Zinkernagel had free run of that wing, but some of it is. And they didn't do a good job of controlling him. He was very creative for Chicago. Chicago, they're Greg Berhalter, former U.S. men's national team manager. If you watched any of that U.S. against the world that we talked about going into the World Cup, you saw a decent amount of Greg Berhalter in those first couple of episodes. But he trots him out in a 4-4-2. And he says, let's go play some old school football. Let's get our wingers into the attack. Let's get them being creative. And Zinkernagel and Bamba did that for him to great effect against Charlotte.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, say what you will about Triple G, but I mean, he has won games before. He does have a history in MLS with, who was it, Sporting Kansas City before the
yeah.
national team. I mean, the guy can win games. I just hate that Charlotte FC allowed him to have something nice in his life. It really hurts. Um,
Well,
I I understand Dean has his hands tied a little bit with availability in the lineup, but we have to bring something tactically. And, you know, if we're just allowing them to play their game for the full 90, that's a bad coaching job, in my opinion. I don't think they were dominant for the full 90. I think Charlotte had their moments, but for the vast majority, I would have liked to have seen a little more creative attacking thinking from Dean.
I, I I don't disagree. I do think this one in particular is so much on, the cupboard was a little bare. Um, we do, speaking of the cupboard being bare, we get subs. We get subs in the 70th minute right after Lewandowski scores his second goal. I think, by the way, the second goal, um, it's a lot of space out there. I think it was Bamba that was running at Nathan Byrne, and there's just no pressure on him. It might have been Zinkernagel again, honestly, but just no pressure on him. No stepping up and covering. And just lets him run. Byrne just lets his man run without any kind of challenge. Um, and then slotted across to Robin Lod, who taps it forward to Lewandowski on the run. And at this point, Morrison is inside his own 6-yard box and trying to 1v1 an already moving Robert Lewandowski. And like, I can't really put it on Morrison that he couldn't make that stop. I thought Byrne was way too passive on that second goal.
What if I told you, Justin, what if I told you in this match that you watched in its entirety that Chicago and Charlotte had the same number of shots?
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. We were taking shots. We were finding some somewhat dangerous areas. And honestly, we'll talk about it more, but we probably should have had an equalizer in this one. This is the thing, is like, it wasn't a bad performance, and I would argue that given who we had available to us, it was actually a pretty good performance, but it wasn't enough to go up and win. So it's not enough of a performance.
Well, I said they had the same number of total shots. The difference is that Chicago Fire had 5 on target and we had 1. So that's a pretty big difference. They didn't really out XG us though, 0.94 to 0.78. Both teams with under 1 XG, a 2-1 final. Not, not a crazy result from that, but just looking at the stats here, 5 on target for Chicago Fire. I mean, Christian Kalina did some work, I guess, but um, from when I was watching, I was seeing a lack of urgency from Charlotte FC, and
oh yeah.
especially at the end, like they were just taking their time on the ball, giving it away, some close but regrettable offsides. You talk about the subs coming in. We had Schnegg come in for Toffolo. Schnegg was the guy who just took all day on the final free kick for Charlotte. I mean, literally took a minute off of the clock at the end of stoppage time, and it went immediately. Like we didn't even get another because between Kalina, they couldn't figure out how putting your foot into a ball works. Insane. A loco, multiple offsides calls towards the end of the game. Edon
And
Toklomati, Archie Goodwin, like you said, I mean, Archie gets less than 10 minutes in this game, so it's hard to put anything on him, but, you know
no, but Archie didn't do a whole lot with his starts. Earlier the
Right.
last couple or his start against Atlanta, and so they have not. Neither has been very good right now. They both
Yeah,
seem to be in the slumps of young men.
let me ask you a question, though, because this is the one that confused me. Luca De La Torre plays 86 minutes in this game. Brant Bronico comes on for less than 10. We haven't seen Brant Bronico that I recall the last 2 games. Um, Granted, I didn't really watch that last one either, but Luca De La Torre seems like we're trying to make fetch happen here. What's going on with Luca De La Torre? What am I missing? What does Dean see in him here?
This was a better Luca De La Torre performance than anything consistent that we've seen this season. Like he's had a few moments of brilliance, but this was consistently he's rated a 7.0, and I'm going to be honest, it was a 7 out of 10 performance through the whole thing. And that may be damned with faint praise to say that this is like the best performance we've seen out of Luca De La Torre, but I mean, he was linking play well, he was recycling the ball well, he was moving the ball into dangerous areas well. I, he was good. He was better than Gianni, who gave the ball away, like Jibril Gianni does, who switched off mentally a couple of times and did not move into the spaces. When we were effective in this match, it's because we were playing tiki-taka, kind of moving into spaces, moving the ball back and forth between players, and everybody passing and moving and passing and moving. And a few times the attack broke down because Jibril Diani would pass and stand, and he wouldn't be there to continue progressing the ball forward. And honestly, if somebody should have come off for Bronico, it should have been earlier, and it should have been Gianni. Similarly, Toffolo should have come off earlier for Schnegg. Toffolo was, I don't know if he was gassed or if he just stopped cared or what, but Harry Toffolo did not have a very good game. I'm surprised that SofaScore has Liel Abada at a 6.1. I thought Abada was pretty lively on the wing. When the subs started coming, and the first one that came up was a loco for Liel Abada, or the second one, sorry, in the 77th minute was a loco for Liel Abada. I was actually really surprised because I thought after Schnegg had come on, I thought the right move was actually Gianni off, a loco on. And then Pep Biel drifts back into the midfield along with De La Torre and Westwood. Aloko goes to the right wing. Abada stays left because Abada was finding space. I think the biggest problem that Abada had was that the players that were closest to him for the majority of the match were Jibril Diani and Harry Toffolo, who
Yeah,
I don't think had good matches.
yeah,
Abada was getting forward and putting some guys back on skates and getting into good positions, and then didn't have anybody to connect the ball to. So he was kind of left out on that left wing island with an underperforming Jibril Diani and an underperforming Harry Toffolo. And I think that's the reason in this one that Abada's rating is so low, and that he gets the hook as early as he does.
yeah. And I mean, looking at his numbers, his passing really doesn't look bad. Overall, 85% passing, a few unsuccessful dribbles, but it just looks like that left side was struggling all night. Harry Toffolo comes out of the game. Liel Abada comes out of the game. Diani probably should have come out of the game. So that left side was struggling, and Abada's numbers don't look bad. 2 shots, neither one of them on target. I'm just, it's probably just me looking at this with mint colored glasses, but I would like to see more from Charlotte FC. It just feels kind of underwhelming. Um, Going into the League's Cup break, I mean, we really might need a little bit of a reset here. We were talking coming in that, a draw and a win out of the World Cup break, and now it's a loss. So 1-1-1 off of the World Cup break. We still don't have our DP here. We have an open roster spot to fill, and I would like to see. We're not going to, but I would like to see maybe another one or two players from this roster move on during this window before it closes. If we can get in two more reinforcements, I mean, even folks who've already played in the country or are nationals that don't need visas, just hit the ground running. Get some reinforcements in here. There's an
I don't
interleague.
disagree.
There's an intra-league trading system where you can trade players for GAM. Like, let's find something creative and get an MLS quality starter into this lineup. Just a little injection of energy here.
Well, I mean, as we talk here about the Chicago Fire, and yes, they brought in Robert Lewandowski. Before Lewandowski came in, though, they had the top goal scorer in the league in Hugo Kuipers. And when Lewandowski came in, he requested a transfer. And they obliged. But not within the league. Did we put a call in at least? Before he goes down to Liga MX, he goes down to Monterrey.
Yeah,
did we put a call in at least?
He's going for more money than we could have offered. I'll tell you that.
Well, when he got traded, we had a DP slot. We had, we could have finagled some things, I think. But we need to be in for these kinds of guys. I agree with you that we need to be in for guys who are available within the league, who are, maybe they're free agents, maybe they're just, guys that we can go snatch off of other rosters. But I don't know. There's definitely still something missing. With Kerwin Vargas gone, there's a roster slot available. I think we maybe have a logjam of underperformers in midfield next to Ashley Westwood and behind Pep Biel.
Yeah.
We've got if that spot has Luca De La Torre, Jibril Diani, and Brant Bronico all sitting there, and none of them is really stepping up and saying, this is my spot going forward. This is I'm gonna take control of this one. I'm gonna keep it. But I don't know, Teal Bunbury, if we wanted another striker or something like that, Teal Bunbury, who's 36 now but has a ton of experience in this league, is still available. It's kind of funny. I'm looking at some of the free agents in MLS right now, and looking at Junior Urso and Eric Williamson still sitting out there as free agents. And doesn't that say something about how our midfield's been the last few years?
Sure does. Sure does. All right. Well, yeah, this game, it's kind of tough because we're going into League's Cup. We're underpowered, understaffed at the moment, but let's try to pick out a crown of the day. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to say real quick, on the offsides calls against Deloco, I think at least two of those were BS. I don't think he was actually off. I have no idea how they called him off, especially the last one, where I think it was coming in from there was just so much cover over there. I have no idea how he was offside on those. All that said,
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing replays of those.
No, they didn't. They didn't show any of them. At least,
the one replay I do remember seeing was from an angle where you can't see him come into the play. You can't see the scope of the field, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, they definitely didn't show anything, and I think they didn't show anything because they got it wrong. The other thing I will say about him though is you got to bury that opportunity. You got to at least put that opportunity on frame. He has a what the Brits will call a gilt-edged chance, and it really was.
Yeah,
He should have been able to put that strike on frame and at least challenge the keeper. Depressing that
he
he
did.
doesn't.
Yeah, he did have a cross that came in that actually got deflected by Brady in goal that went out to
Yeah,
the other side. But like that one you're talking about, I watched the replay and it's like the movement all looked good. The foot going towards the ball looked good. I don't know how he kicks it at that angle and just misses the goal completely. It's baffling to me. I'm not sure what happened with that. Like, it might have slid off the top of his foot or something instead of getting, like, full side contact, but it was just a baffling contact. I could not see what was going wrong with the whole form and movement of the strike. I couldn't tell. It looked good, and then it just misses by 5 feet wide of the goal.
yeah. It felt an awful lot like maybe Kerwin Vargas left his shooting boots here, and Rodolfo Loco stuck him on for the match. I don't know how
Oof.
that happened.
Hey, let's give a shout out here to on the bench, making his first appearance on the Charlotte FC first team starting lineup on the bench is Bai Kuabale.
Yep,
So shout out to the young man. Will Cleary, Andrew Privet, Tiger Smalls, all not getting appearances in this one, but Bai Kuabale, it's a big step up. I was wrong about the
absolutely.
Crown Legacy winger. I said Nathan Richmond last time, and it was actually by Kuabale. Dean snuck one past me. He listened, he heard me, and he said, "Ha ha ha! Check
Yeah,
this."
I hope to see more of him this week, but we'll talk about Leagues Cup in a minute. In terms of a crown for this one, I actually thought Morrison had another really solid game. He did not seem intimidated by the fact that it was Robert Lewandowski who was lined up across from him. He went in for tough but legal challenges on Lewandowski. Made sure that he made an impression there on one of the greats. And he was really active across the defensive line, especially in the first half, putting out fires. Without Ream there, Kessler's a more athletic guy, but he doesn't marshal the back line as well. And so, Morrison's, I think, having to step up a little bit more and it be the guy to put out the fires when it's him and Kessler starting together. It's a different skill set with Kessler. It's not a bad skill set at all, but it is different, and it I think puts a little bit more of the onus on Morrison to be um, a young leader there in the back line.
Good pick. I think we should celebrate. We have yet another young player from Charlotte FC from the pipeline coming through. I believe Morrison is a homegrown player as well, so you love to see it. I'm going to give it to the obvious choice here because I did not get to watch the game in its entirety, but Pep Biel is now sitting on 9 goals for the season, 5 assists, 14 total contributions, which is double the next player on the roster, Idan Tokumadi, at 7. Um,
Absolutely.
Idan does add one in this match. They both added one. Idan with the assist. And is that going to help break the run of form and open the floodgates for Idan Tokumadi? I don't know. But hopefully we find some kind of form because call this a hot take, Justin, but I feel like strikers should be scoring goals for their team.
Well, and I messaged the group chat with you and Cole. Do we have a striker problem? And
I mean, the problem is that they're not scoring. So,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, Archie, I would like to see him getting more time, but he has gotten some minutes here since the World Cup break, and it's a small sample size. But uh, I I think Archie needs to gain some weight, get a little more physical. I think we're just seeing that MLS is a little more demanding than what he's used to, and these young players. They can hit the gym, they can add 10, 15 pounds of muscle. And if they can keep their movement, keep their training, adjust to that difference in their body size, it can make a tremendous difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with St. Maximin coming in because I think, well, a lot of people have talked about, oh, St. Maximin is just a like for like with Zaha. I think that St. Maximin is going to play more direct. I think he's going to play a little bit faster. And I think if you've got guys that like to run in behind, guys that like to run into space as strikers, and then potentially try to poach goals, I think St. Maximin is going to benefit that type of striker. I think both of these guys have that in their bag. I think both these guys, Danto Clamati and Archie Goodwin, are capable of it. I think maybe I give the edge to Archie in that. And so it will be really interesting to see if does on the run facing goal rather than, muscling a defender off with your back to goal and then trying to make a turn, something like that. Does on the run facing goal favor Archie Goodwin? I think it does. And could Archie Goodwin put 7 in the back of the net in the second half of this season playing with Alonso Maximin? I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, Archie Goodwin is that kind of guy that likes to stick by the defensive line. I view that kind of player as a terrier, and I know he has the personality of a golden retriever, but the way he plays on the field is just a little ankle biter, like causing chaos back there. And if he can get that quick break on a quick pass, he's gone. And I want to see more of that. He needs to get better at the wide open decision making when he's one on one with a keeper. Shoot the ball a little bit earlier, maybe. You can do a cheeky little chip right over the keeper, but holding on to the ball and playing straight to the keeper or finding a way to eliminate the opportunity is heartbreaking. I mean, I just need to see Archie Goodwin getting the ball in the back of the net somehow. So if Maxi can help out with that, from his career numbers, I don't think Maxi's a real shooter like Zaha. I don't think he's going to have as many goals. But if he can start developing those plays off the wing, getting those passes in behind to Archie or Edon, whatever works, that could be a game changer for our season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hopeful, and looking forward to seeing what's next and everything. But I'm fine putting this one behind us. Again, this is not a uh, a match where I'm super disappointed in the result, given who we're missing, given what we had available to us, and given how we played. I it called it a loss. I called it a 1-0. At least we got the goal and everything, but I called it a loss in our preview. I'm not surprised by it. I'm not, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that we lost this one. We seem to be shaping up into the kind of squad who sits mid-table and beats the teams below us and loses to the teams above us.
That tracks. I mean, we had the draw against Atlanta United, but then we kibble. So kind
Yeah.
of hard to say on that, but I think we are sitting in a fair position on the table. I think 7-8 is kind of a fair position for us with the recent form.
And now, Luke, now we take another break after 3 short matches and an all-star game. We take another break from MLS action to dive into the illustrious, historic
Definitely not
Leagues
manufactured.
Cup. Definitely not manufactured, according to Don Garber, and he said it. He said it on TV, so it must be true, right?
Yes, that is what I've learned is that if a man in a position of power says something on TV, it must be true.
So here we are with the League's Cup upon us again. Charlotte FC will kick this off Tuesday night against Pumas. Okay, it's we play Pumas, Atlas, and Pachuca. That's Tuesday the 4th, Friday the 7th, and then Tuesday the 11th. That we'll play these 3 matches. All 3 will be here, right? So, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a big Liga MX guy. I looked it up. Pumas are currently third in the table in Liga MX, but they've only played 3 matches in this new, return from the World Cup era for Liga MX. It's the new season started for them when they got back from the World Cup. So there's not a huge sample size. They won their last match 5-1, but they've also lost 3-1 since the season started. So it's a little all over the place. But I don't think Charlotte will win this because I hope Charlotte doesn't play a lot of our starters for very long in this, Luke. I
Yeah,
just want to get out.
I'm here with you, man. Yeah, let's get in, get out, be on our way. Like you said,
Blood the
Pumas third
youngsters.
on the table in Liga MX. I mean, they've only started their season here, 3 games played, but um, early season form for them, mid-season kind of struggling form for us. Uh, this competition means absolutely nothing. I mean,
And
what are we going to do? Win the whole thing? I don't think so. I
no,
mean, and if you're not going to win the whole thing, then let's get out, no injuries, maybe get a few wins or something just to entertain the fans. But I want to see some Crown Legacy players getting some time. I want to see development. I'm much more interested in the process on the field and allowing this opportunity to, like I said earlier, get a reset here for the team where we can find an identity. We can find a style of play that works. Hopefully, that's not scoring early and then locking it down for the next 75 minutes. Let's, find a way to pass and connect and control the game. See.
yeah, I'm ready to blood the youngsters in all of this league's cup. I'm ready to see Nathan Richmond. I'm ready to see Bai Koulibaly. I'm ready to see, all of the Crown Legacy guys. I'd like to see I'd like to see maybe Archie or Idan, one of these guys getting an opportunity to go out there and attack and just see if he can remember how to put the ball in the back of the net. And Tim Miller should get some starts, or Isaac Walker, we don't need to trot out guys that we have concerns about. Let's not trot, like, Kessler doesn't need to be out there. Ream doesn't need to be out there. This is Andrew Privet time.
I love it.
Just keep it away from any of the big players getting hurt or anything like that. And let's just get through these 3 and then get back to the MLS.
So, hey, this can't be right. Is the League's Cup format that they have 36 teams and only the top 4 advance to a 4-team playoff?
Yeah.
What?
Hey, look, man, long it's a long tradition of the League's Cup, right?
That's not how it was last year, right?
No, I don't
Because
think so, but
they had groups at one point, and you had to like win your group to advance. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
but
Well,
it's bad. It's a bad tournament. It's a bad cup. It is manufactured. The only people who benefit from this entire thing are Liga MX fans in the US. And I'm absolutely thrilled for them that some of these Liga MX fans will get the opportunity to see their club in person. That's great. I do not care about this competition.
okay, cool. This is an event that is happening. We're getting 3 more international in Charlotte. I like that. Um, you know who is excited for the League's Cup?
Don Garber.
Friend of the pod, Danny Brams from the Soccer City podcast. I was hanging out with him last night, and he told me he's excited, he's ready. Big matchups on the big stage at Bank of America. So he's locked in. He's ready to go. And I think that's great. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. If this is the competition for you, then I am so excited that you are happy. Um, my biggest priorities and yours, Justin, is just no injuries, no lasting repercussions from this. Um, Obviously, I don't want to see Charlotte FC lose games, but if we have to take an L to figure out some issues that are going on, with the squad and the chemistry and the tactics, then this is the time to do it. And if we want to give a youngster a shot and see how they work with the first team, maybe give them a breakout moment. This is also a very good opportunity.
Yeah, I got a lot of love and a lot of respect for Danny. I don't get his take on this one. I am all for trying hard in the Open Cup. That's the one that matters. That's the one I care about. This, we're not gonna ever win it. We're not ever gonna be in a position to. Uh, and I hope that sometime somebody gets to clip that and use it against us. I'd love for Charlotte to win some silverware. This is my least interesting or impactful piece of silverware that MLS teams have opportunity for. I care more about the Coachella Valley Cup in preseason than I do about the Leagues Cup. So, yeah, it's fine. We'll move on. Just want to come out of this unhurt. I want to come out of this with Alonso Maximin actually here and available. I gotta tell you, Luke, I don't understand how this team is this bad at visa stuff, and I don't understand how it seems to happen every transfer window that we're this bad at visa stuff.
Yeah.
But
No satisfying answer. Dean Smith also said in a press conference that he doesn't understand it. They work through the process and he feels like they're doing things correctly, but for some reason, other teams are getting it done much more quickly. So no answers from Dean Smith. It's definitely a front office item. I don't think it's on the coaching staff. I think it's, at the end of the day, the buck stops with Zoran. And look, man, you've been on the podcast with us this whole season. Cole's doing this with me for a few years, and he was doing it before me I came on. But like my take from the beginning hasn't really changed. I've been supporting Zoran. I've been saying he has a pretty good track record. It's mixed. There have been some hits and misses. Overall, with the situations we've been in, I've been an advocate for keeping Zoran on, waiting till the end of last season to see what happens. We get Zaha. I mean, like, there's been wins for him. So I've been in favor of Zoran staying in his position. But I'm going to be honest with you, man. Since the World Cup break, since I went through that joy and ecstasy of the group stage of the World Cup, multiple games a day, just the excitement, the adrenaline, the celebration of soccer, it's kind of led me to some reflection. And I'm going to say right now, for the first time on this podcast, I think it might be time for us to allow Zoran to move on with his career. I think he's done a great job, and I thank him for the work he's done for Charlotte FC. I just think after this transfer window, if we don't get another few guys in here, I think it's time that as soon as the transfer window closes, I think that we start looking at other options for that position. Get somebody else in here before the next transfer window. Give them time to get on their feet, develop their own game plan. But whatever is happening with the front office is not working. This visa problem with Maxi is just the latest example. The guys that we're getting in, we're not spending big. We're not being bold. We're not putting the team in the position to be a top club in this league. And we have Big Daddy Tepper, and we're not spending the Tepper bucks. If the problem is that Tepper doesn't want to spend the Tepper bucks, then we need to get in a general manager, a technical manager who can be the Tepper whisperer to open up the pocketbook. We're getting free transfers. We're getting loan deals for our DPs. We have really good outgoing sales. We're showing proof of concept from an organizational point of view. But I am officially, as of right now, Zoran out for the first time since Charlotte FC launched. I think it's time, and I think it would be in his best interest. He was a first-time general manager in this type of position. I think he can get a move to a bigger club and continue developing his career. I think for Charlotte FC, I think we can also develop in a new and improved way by switching course and going in a different direction. So there you go. That's my
I've,
thought.
I've been Zoran out for a while, and I continue to be. I think failing to uh, put us in a position to permanently sign Will Saha. There was it was originally reported that this was going to be, a loan with an option, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. The consistent issues with visas. We knew these guys were coming in, and we still don't have visas figured out. The fact that we've now sold Kerwin Vargas, like you couldn't have arranged, at least when we sold Adilson Malanda, we arranged the loan back for the remainder of the season to keep the continuity. We've now sold Kerwin Vargas without a replacement and without even really, it looks like, a plan for a replacement. There's no other murmurings. The only possible rumor we've seen was that Tavernier from Rangers deal, and that's a 34-year-old right back. These are not deals that move the needle. I don't think that Zoran has ever respected MLS players the way that he should have. Otherwise, I think we would have been in for guys this off season that signed elsewhere. I don't think that he's really gone out there to try to sign big names, effective names. I think he thinks that he can make some kind of deal. The closest we've gotten is Zaha, and while I think a lot of people knew Zaha's name, Zaha was already often in Turkey and being loaned around and like lower teams in was it Italy? He was already a little bit past his prime, and not, other teams in this league are getting a little bit past his prime, Heung-min Son, and a little bit past his prime, Robert Lewandowski. And, Miami just got a little bit past his prime, Casemiro, who played last season for my Manchester United and was excellent there. Now, granted, he scored an own goal last night, whatever. But, we're not in for guys like that, and we feel like we're a development and selling club right now, and that is a good thing if you're reinvesting what you're selling. But I agree with you too, Luke, that like we're selling these guys and we're not seeing the investment back. And so what are we doing? And again, I'm just Zoran out. I don't think he's done a good enough job. I don't think he's got a place at a bigger team. I think he's got a place at, a smaller side in Europe somewhere. At this point, he may as well go be the sporting director for FC Kukarishi because, we've done enough business with him, right? He's got to know the ownership over there. But not here anymore. It's time for somebody different. I think it's time for somebody who knows this league better. And I was talking with another buddy of mine. The biggest issue is, what is the vision for this roster that has been constructed by Zoran Krneta and his side? What style do the players on this roster fit to play? Because they're all pieces to different puzzles. And sometimes it works out okay, but these are not guys that are all brought in to play the same kind of system. And that's the biggest problem. It's always been the biggest problem is we're buying guys because they have promise, or we're buying guys because they are of a certain valuation that we can get them in. But we're not buying guys because they fit the system the manager wants to play and can play it to in a way that puts us towards the top of this league. So thank you for your service, Zoran Cornetto, but you can leave now, please.
Woof. Well, I would be very interested to hear Cole's opinion on this, and I just hey, let's stick this in the notes. Like next time we have Cole on, I want to ask him how does he feel about this because he's been back and forth from time to time. He's been full on Zoran out in the past. I know other times he's been in favor of letting him finish out the season, see how things play. But at this point, I am so underwhelmed, and I am excited for Alan St. Maximum. Like I'm excited. Seems like a name people have heard of. I'm not familiar with his body of work. I don't know where he's at in his career. I don't really. We've never signed a player that I'm really familiar with. Like Wilfred Zaha, I'd seen on some Premier League highlight tape in the past, but I couldn't have picked him out of the lineup. He'd been playing in Turkey and France for a few years, making absolutely no waves. Liel Abada, I had heard of because he played for my team, but like other than that, I would like us to sign a known commodity at some point. Somebody that I'm like, oh snap, I've seen them play before they come here because they've been on a highlight tape, like they've been on Sports Center. I don't know, like something. Let's make a splash. Let's do something splashy, exciting. Spend the Tepper bucks. But in lieu of that, let's get some great pieces that'll come in here. Pep Biel, all credit to the scouting department on that one. I mean, that was an unknown commodity that the scouting department found and advocated for. All right, well, that's my thoughts, man. I'm spiraling at this point. I just, we're fans. We want to see the team do well. We want them to succeed. The more they succeed, the better it is for our community. And yeah, I don't know that we're going to take that next step with Zoran in that position. Dean Smith, he's proved me wrong before. We were on a big slide last year, and he put together the biggest winning streak in MLS history. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
doubt Dean at this point. He's still got some rope with me. But Zoran, I feel like I've trusted too much for too long, and at this point, it's not a knock. I think he has done a good job with hits and misses, but at this point, we just need to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on a little bit because I did miss a big chunk of this game. I was coming back from the Charlotte Independence match, and that was against one Knoxville. Those teams were tied on points, 2 and 3 on the table in USL League One. Game of the week. Charlotte Independence came out on fire in this match, Justin. I had my kids with me. They were loving it. They had a great time, stayed through the whole thing. They said it's one of the most fun times they've had at a soccer game. They want to come back and go see more and actually watch the game. So they're getting up to that age now where, as a dad, just warms my heart. They can enjoy the things that I enjoy, and yeah, so we had a blast. Charlotte Independence came out on fire very early on, just set the tone. They were here to dominate the match. One Knoxville was on the back heel for the entire first half. Very little in the way of. At one point, I pulled up the SofaScore momentum graph just to satisfy my own curiosity, and it was all Independence blue, just beautiful. So early on in this one, we had a goal. Not early on, almost had a goal early, but the first goal scored was right before halftime. Swabu Maru actually came out with a pass from John Vaquero and sent it home. They were so active in the opposing third, just constantly pressing. Anytime one Knoxville got the ball, you could just count on your fingers. And by the time you got to 10, it would be back in Charlotte Independence possession. Um, Beautiful goal by Maru for the first one. He scores a brace right out of halftime. And then the third goal came from it was actually credited, I'm seeing now, as an own goal. I thought that was credited to, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing on here the scoring player. I thought an Independence player had scored it, but it was at the other end of the field from us. Um, yeah, some players that had a really good game. Prince Sadie was, as always, very good. Luis Alvarez is back in this one, and he was kind of holding his leg, especially in the first half. We were concerned about him. He went down for a little bit in the second half and came out shortly after. Did not love to see that. But Luis Alvarez is back, continuing his rehab. John Baccaro, 2 assists in this game. Um, yeah, I mean, really, you can't pick a bad player out of the lineup here because they were all dominating. Jefferson Amaya, he got a few shout outs in the crowd. One play was actually wide open for Knoxville to score on one of their rare opportunities, one of their rare excursions into the opposing half. And it got a block, and the ball just kind of sat on the goal line right in front. Matt Levy had played out of position a little bit, making the play. A lot of chaos. Jefferson Amaya comes flying back and kicks the ball out for a corner to save the day. So huge shout out to him. Romero had a good day on the back line. And yeah, man. Chris Jaime continues to just be everywhere. That kid is on fire. He goes hard. He did not play the full 90, but the time he's on the pitch, he goes very, very hard. So,
Yeah.
love to see it. Yeah, man. Just dominant Independence performance. One Knoxville looked like frauds. I'm just gonna say it. Like, it gave me the same vibes as when Union Omaha came to town and they were top of the table in USL One, and they just could not string together any kind of possession or opportunity. One of the most one-sided beatdowns. You know who gave us a tougher matchup than this, Justin? The Greenville Triumph. Sitting at the bottom of the table gave us a better matchup. It was an ass kicking. It was a butt whooping. We pulled down their pants and gave them a spanking, sent them back to Tennessee. So you just love to see it, dude. Just Mike Jeffries continues to impress here. I'm sure another coach of the month is going to be in order for him. And we are at the end of this match, 3-1 final, Charlotte Independence win it. We are top of the league as this match ends, live on the table. Unfortunately, other teams have a say in that performance. Union Omaha, the aforementioned, are actually ahead at the end of the night on 38 points. Charlotte Independence, sole possession of second place on 36 points, and Forward Madison with 35. Those are your top three. Union Omaha, like I said, they came into our house and just tried to turtle up, tried to be defensive, never really threatened, and got sent packing. One Knoxville, the same. This Independence team is kind of like the opposite of Charlotte FC. You know, we talk about Charlotte FC. They beat the teams below the table they're supposed to. They lose against the better teams. Independence wants the heat. They want the challenge. The bigger the squad they're playing against, the bigger they step up. We talk about they have 3 cup sets on the year against USL championship sides. And when the league leaders come to play, Independence just absolutely wrecks their day. So I love to see it, man. This is a complete squad, top to bottom, and they're still recovering from injuries. They're still trying to get healthy. And the players are out here putting up the best performances I've seen from an Independence team in the 10 years I've been following them.
Yeah.
John Baccaro, the Basque menace out here. My goodness. Swabu Maru, I feel like I don't give him as much credit because he's a striker. He's supposed to be scoring goals. But looking at Charlotte FC, like, I guess I shouldn't be taking that for granted. You know, Swabu Maru is very good. But I feel like Prince Thady is like sneaky because he comes in off the wing. He plays both sides of the wing. So he's reversing field, getting all over the place. Chris Jaime in there creating chaos. Clay Dimmick, the captain, is always enforcing, playing up the wing. Very impressive. He went down with a little knock at some point in that match, and it was a concern. But you look at on the season, total goal contributions. Luis Alvarez, 13. Swabu Maru, 11. John Baccaro, 10. this team does not have a weak link, my friend.
Yeah.
And we look at Charlotte FC, total goal contributions, Pep BL 14. You talk about Idan Tokomati was 7. And that's it. Kerwin Vargas was also on 7. He's gone.
Yeah.
So current Charlotte FC sitting at 21 goal contributions out of their top 3 scorers, and with Charlotte Independence 34, 34, Justin,
Yeah.
total goal contributions in the top 3 players. It's so much more exciting. $10 to get in the door. $10. It's practically nothing. Skyline view of the city.
Well,
Easy to park, easy to commute to. I mean, there's just no excuse not to get out to these Charlotte Independence games. I cannot speak more highly of it. I was there as a fan, so I was in my kit in the supporter section with my kids with me. We had a blast. I didn't do any post game interviews this time, but man, what a night! And then I had to go watch that second half of the Charlotte FC game.
I know. There was another 3-1 on Saturday night. You talk about the $10 experience at Independence. There's not this one because we were on the road, but there is a $0 experience as well. The skyline is not as impressive because it's Matthews, but Crown Legacy got back to their winning ways, picked up a 3-1 win against Huntsville.
They were not in Matthews; they were on the road.
Yep. The Joe W. Davis Stadium in Huntsville, Alabama. So
I was there for the opening match. It's a very nice little stadium, complete remodel.
Hugo Mbong started up top. He is really a Swiss Army man. Unfortunately, he comes off injured in the 84th minute. So hopefully not too bad for Mbong, but 2 goals for him on the day. And then the third goal was Andrew Spodic. It's another really strong performance from Crown Legacy. Andrew Johnson, no, not that one, had another great time in central defense. There's another guy who probably for Leagues Cup deserves some minutes. Spodic, another guy, in the midfield who could probably come up during Leagues Cup. Unfortunately, Jack Neely looks like he had kind of a rough one. His SOFA score rating's pretty low, and he picks up a yellow card.
Neely,
Huntsville does get...
Whoa, pause. Neely's back with
Oh,
Crown
yeah.
Legacy.
He's back.
Okay.
He's back from injury, and he's playing again.
Well, no, he was,
maybe not to full fitness.
Wasn't he with Independence on loan?
I think he was, but I think he got recalled. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I missed
when he got
recall on that.
when he got hurt.
Okay. Gotcha.
Huntsville has a red card in the 81st minute for violent conduct, so they do finish this match down a man. But yeah, Crown Legacy go back on the road. If you can make it down to the Sportsplex in Matthews, it's a great time going out. There are still Charlotte FC supporters groups that make it down there, make the Legacy matches loud. You'll see players that from Charlotte FC. You'll see guys like Will Cleary. You'll see guys like Rodolfo Loco still down there. If they don't play for the first team, a lot of times they'll go right back down and play for Legacy. So absolutely worth it to go check them out. Matthews Sportsplex also before long the host for a few Charlotte Independence matches. So as they continue in the Prinks Tire Cup and in USL, they'll host some matches down at the Sportsplex in Matthews. The first one is the 12th of August.
Next Wednesday.
So, yep, opportunities there to catch the Independence down in Matthews. If that's closer to you, go for it. But Sportsplex is a beautiful field to play on and a reasonably comfortable stadium to watch a match in. It's one of the best, if not the best, places to interact with the players post-match and even during the match. You can hear them. I think even better than at American Legion Memorial. You can hear what's going on the pitch, what the players are saying to each other down at the Sportsplex. So definitely worth it to get down there and see, our Crown Galacticos as they continue.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I think that should just about do it for our recap here. The Greenville Triumph did have a draw against Portland Hearts of Pine. They have 4 points in their last 2 games, which is a huge improvement in form for them. They will try to mount a late season comeback here to make the playoffs in USL League One. Charlotte Independents are going to be back in action on Saturday against that Greenville Triumph side at home here, American Legion Memorial Stadium. Hopefully, Cole can make the trip over. I'd love to see that. We also have in upcoming matches another match on, we said Tuesday against Pumas. And then following that, we have next Tuesday, the 11th, against Pachuca. Wednesday's that USL Cup game. So some good midweek action for us. Um, Crown Legacy is going to be on the road on Friday, August 7th against Inter Miami 2. And Justin, that does it for the upcoming little look ahead here. I'm sorry we don't have
Yep.
much of a Pumas preview, but I don't know what to tell you on this one. Like, if you're a Pumas fan, you already know more than we do, and if you're a Charlotte FC fan, let's just hope everybody has fun and no one gets hurt. That's
Yep.
the preview. Uh,
Yep.
I think we're pretty much good to wrap it up. I got a few little questions for you here. So I did have a question that I saw on social media. You can tell a lot about a person by their favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor. I don't know what that means, but I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite Ben and Jerry's flavor, Justin?
God, I gotta be honest, I don't buy Ben and Jerry's that frequently. What was the Colbert one? The American Cream?
Americone Dream. That is my favorite.
The Americone Dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
I like mint.
I
Go ahead.
oh yeah, I'm just not a big um Ben and Jerry's guy though. So like I don't buy them that frequently. I remember that the Americone Dream being a good one. Um but like I could not tell you that many others.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Fallon had one at some point as well. Yeah, the when I get Ben and Jerry's, I tend to get the Americone Dream, Stephen Colbert, South Carolina's own, represent. But I like mint chocolate chip generally. It's a good flavor, and theirs is good, but not quite great. It doesn't quite hit that for me. So I tend to go with the Americone Dream. And then I think Jimmy Fallon said
The
peanuts in it, so I had to avoid it, unfortunately.
the underrated not Ben and Jerry's at all. And you gotta love almond stuff, which I do. Like I don't actually love almonds that much directly, but like I love almond flavored cakes and candy, like frangipane, marzipan, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Um, if you like that sort of thing, Bluebell makes a bride's cake ice cream. It is almond ice cream with cake pieces and amaretto flavored cream cheese icing. That
Ooh,
is awesome if you like almond stuff.
that sounds very interesting. I think Bluebell has. I think they're the ones that do the banana pudding ice cream too.
Yep.
Which
Yep.
the problem is, if you eat too much of it, then it'll completely sour you on the whole experience. But like a small bowl of that ice cream is good. A full bowl of that ice cream is too much. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, ice cream is good. I think. Is it safe to say this is a podcast that supports ice cream?
Oh,
Pro
absolutely.
pro
Uh,
ice
in
cream zone
in
here.
s- in some ways is supported by ice cream. The soft serve machine in the media room at Bank of America Stadium gets work when we're there. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I love that stuff.
I mean, I would feel attacked if I wasn't, just completely proud of that fact myself. Yeah, I have no shame, absolutely no shame. I will eat the soft serve ice cream that they bribe us with to get preferential coverage. I'm here to support it. We're fans first, we're always going to support the club. So them giving us a little ice cream back is totally a fair trade. I'll take it. All right, so we had the Ben and Jerry's question, and then I saw Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I believe you're Tomorrow?
Yes. So today is my daughter's birthday, and I'm very happy birthday to her. But she spent the day with her friends. My daughter is 24 years old, and obviously for her birthday, she's would rather spend her time with her friends than her family at this point. But we are celebrating tomorrow. So I took the day off of work. I try to make it special for each one of my kids when it's their birthday. We're doing the day all as a family, and that's the big one. Is we're going tomorrow midday to see Brand New Day. Very
Love it.
excited to check that out.
I love it. Without getting into any spoilers or talking about the movie directly here, I watch it on a regular screen. I normally go to the Marvel movies and see them in IMAX, but I just went to my local Rock Hill and I saw it. That's a Regal theater that hasn't been renovated. They haven't gone to the new reclining seats and reduced the capacity down to like 20 seats in the so it still seats like
Yeah.
probably 100 people, I would imagine. Big theater. And I got to tell you, Justin, I did not notice the way that the new fancy theaters with the bigger seats and the much smaller capacity. I didn't realize the way that changes the movie experience. Being in a packed house, a big theater with a lot more people, the place was sold out. Loud, there was clapping, laughing. I like it experience I remember when I was just like, smaller screen. The brightness was turned down a little too much. Like I think I would like to go see it in IMAX. It's another movie like The Odyssey that I would like to see again. I left the theater thinking, yeah, I would definitely go back and in theater. But like I would like to see the big spectacle of it. But I missed having like 100 people in the theater, hearing them laugh and cry and clap. Like when this movie was over, people started clapping. And is that kind of lame in a movie theater? Yeah, it's kind of lame. But I get it. Like, if you love the movie, like, show some appreciation, and the whole theater was feeling it, man. Like, it was such a good vibe in the movie everybody just had a blast. So Brand New Day, I have a call a perfect movie. I think The Odyssey was in that perfect movie category, where it's like the whole runtime, it felt shorter than it was, everything flowed, it hit all the beats and the plot points, the acting was phenomenal, the writing, like, that's a perfect movie. Spider-Man: Brand New Day is not a movie, but in terms of Marvel, it's a return to form, bro. Like, it felt like Endgame in that theater. Not quite to Endgame level, but, like, realm. Everybody was it's just it felt good to go see a Marvel movie and have it feel like a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Well, you will.
Yeah.
You will. Don't worry, you will. You'll figure it out.
No,
This
I
is
mean, I definitely get the love for the Marvel movie experience and everything when it's done right and when it's done really well, and so I'm very much looking forward to it tomorrow. My kids and I watched the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie tonight.
okay.
That just came out. We were big fans of the show, big fans of Korra and all of that stuff. Really impressed. Really enjoyed. I know that it got some hate. It leaked online, everything like that. If you liked the show, I thought they did a good job honoring that. And the one thing I missed was some of the original voice cast. None of them came back, and so that was a bummer. But Batista is in it. Dave Batista continues to impress me as an actor every time I get an opportunity to watch him. He does some voice acting in this one. I thought it was really good. So I enjoyed it as a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I
That's
thought
on
they did a good job
Yeah, that's on
linking that
Paramount?
over. It's a Yep.
Okay, on Paramount, and, is it like a continuation of the show, or how's it set up?
Yeah, it is. It is the same. It's the Avatar. It's the gang. All of them are back. They are aged up a few years, but you get to see the beginnings of some of the stuff that if you watch Legend of Korra, you'll know. So you get to see some of that in in this movie, but you get to see, everybody that, there's a lot of fan service stuff. So, if you watched the original show, you'll get a little taste of Secret Tunnel. You'll get a little taste of the Cabbage guy, who this time is voiced by Ken Jeong.
Oh, nice.
Um, so there's definitely a few minor characters who have major voice actors showing up. Taika Waititi and Ronnie Chang from The Daily Show are also in there. So yeah, but I really enjoyed it. My kids, I think, really enjoyed it, and it serves as a good link between what you knew from watching Avatar and then what you got to see in Korra.
Yeah, and to clear up any confusion, I know not all of the listeners are probably cartoon or anime fans out there. This is not the Blue People Avatar. This is the Magic People Avatar. Different show, different
Yes.
franchise. But yeah, I've watched some Avatar: The Last Airbender when I was younger, and I started a watch of it with my kids, but we didn't get all the way through. So we should probably pick that back up at some point. Um, Definitely one that was on my radar. Didn't realize it had been released. I picked back up Star City, which is the spinoff of For All Mankind on Apple. And I feel like it's getting better. Like it's definitely picking up a
Yeah.
little bit. My biggest problem with it early on was it was a little too slow. I'm still not feeling super invested in the characters, but it's not. I think it's something I'll continue watching and get through the first season. I heard a writer that I really like gave it a glowing review, and he's usually pretty critical. So I wanted to at least give it another shot here. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the box office might be back. The movie going experience may not be dead, as we had been told. Christopher Nolan and Daniel Destin Cretton doing the two movies back to back here that are knocking it out of the park. Spider-Man's on course for one of the biggest openings in movie history, on pace to surpass Endgame. So we should have
Yeah.
updated numbers today or tomorrow on that. But just incredible. I love to see it. I love going to the movies. It's a foundational experience for me as a person, as a kid. That was like my escape, going to the movies. And um, the video stores have gone away. The bookstores have mostly gone away. The comic book stores are few and far between, but I can still go to the movies and have a good time. So love to see it.
Little wild that Brand New Day is tracking to do in its opening weekend what the I thought very good James Gunn Superman movie did in its entire run. Uh,
It passed Supergirl just on its Thursday sales, which is
yeah,
insane. I mean, but
it had
then
the biggest opening day in history. Like,
yeah,
prior to the weekend beginning, it had already made, I think, 160 million on, the Thursday preview showings. So,
did you get a chance to watch Supergirl? Did you catch up on that yet?
no, no, I thought that it was already up streaming free somewhere. It's not. It's only for purchase. So,
Gotcha.
haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
Well,
I did.
2 more weeks until
I did.
Lanterns, which I'm excited about.
Yep. I'm very excited for that one. I did watch the second Mortal Kombat,
Okay.
and it is real bad. It's
Oh
real
no.
bad.
I started it and I had to stop it. I was checking out. Uh, I got maybe a quarter of the way through, and I'll give it another chance and finish it up. But I love
I
Carl Urban. Love Carl Urban, but I don't know if he's the right Johnny Cage for the role.
I mean, he was fine. I guess he was sort of the best of a bad. There were some good. There were some other good performances and everything in it, but like, um, there were some really, really hideous ones. I feel badly saying this, but I thought the actress who played Katana is very wooden.
Yeah, yeah, it's disappointing. It's a movie based on a video game, arcade fighting game. Like, I don't know how much we really expect from it, but I thought the first one was pretty good. the one that came out during COVID. I enjoyed it. Had a
Yeah.
pretty good time with it. But yeah, I'll finish that up and give my feedback on it at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think that does it, man. Nothing else really on my radar at the moment that's coming to mind. But if you guys have any recommendations for us, let us know on social media in the comments. You can find us at QCS Pod on the socials. Make sure to give us a like and a subscribe, 5-star review, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts. I know they're also on YouTube as podcasts. But yeah, we're going to keep bringing you some Charlotte FC content, Charlotte soccer, Carolinas soccer content as the summer goes on. We have this exciting, definitely not manufactured Leagues Cup that we will be giving a reaction to, probably recording that on Tuesday or probably on Wednesday, actually. Games on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll go from there. Justin,
Absolutely.
it's been a pleasure, my friend. Once again, no Cole Godfrey, but he will return just like the heroes in Avengers Doomsday. But until that time, for Justin Kurtz, for Level Up Luke, it is always
For the crown.
for the crown.